Welcome to the podcast, A Drink with Derek. Follow comedian Derek Richards on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to his YouTube channel and watch all episodes of the podcast. Now grab a drink and join your host, Derek Richards.
Glad to have you here. Derek Richards here in Las Vegas. It's the holiday edition of A Drink with Derek. And this is my little buddy, my little find that I found. This has got to be now probably 9 years ago. I found a little urban Santa at a discount store like a Smart and Final up in Utah. And I was surprised that I saw this thing and I was dying laughing. And I'm thinking, this is beautiful. And then I was surprised there were so many of them sitting on the rack. And then it dawns on me, I'm in Utah. So outside of literally the Utah Jazz, there were probably more urban Santas than there were people in the entire state of Utah. But anyhow, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and welcome to the podcast. Got some exciting things coming up here. I've got... Going to be recording it, actually going to be performing at Bragg Garrett's Comedy Club December 26th through January the 8th. Bragg Garrett's Comedy Club at the MGM Grand here in Las Vegas. I'm actually going to be there with my guest, John DeCosta, who is joining me here shortly. Also, while you're messing around online, grab a copy of my book, Whiskey, Cancer, and Bad Decisions. It's my story about what I went through as a 22-year cancer survivor. You can grab it on Amazon, Kindle, Audible. Snag a copy. You can get the Kindle one, obviously, for the holidays. If you want a last-minute purchase for somebody, super, super cheap. Very entertaining. I think so, because I wrote it. Whiskey, Cancer, and Bad Decisions. Grab it on Amazon today. Also, going to be performing with comedian Dave Landau over at... This graphic absolutely kills me. Dave Landau put this together. At the Fruenthal Center in Muskegon, Michigan, myself, Dave Landau, also Tommy Thompson, February 11th. Tickets are available at DerekRichards.com. Go on there, click the link, and grab yours to see myself, Dave Landau, and Tommy Thompson. And the Irish Comedy Tour is starting up here very soon. Feb 23, we're going to be cranking it up in Johnson City, New York. We'll be heading to Boston, down to Florida for a few dates, and also over into Wisconsin and Minnesota, the Irish Comedy Tour. Myself, Damon Libert, Derek King, and the newest addition to the tour, comedian Michael Melon. You can also grab our special on Amazon Prime. Do that. See it first, and then come and see us. TheIrishComedyTour.com is the website. My guest today, super stoked. This guy, we've known each other for so many years, and we have had so much fun. He's a fantastic performer, excellent comedian. He incorporates dozens of voices, offbeat impressions, topical humor, sight gags, a few props into his act. He's been touring the United States, Canada, and the world. He's a regular on Carnival Cruise Lines. He has also done audience warm-up for shows such as Politically Incorrect and Real Time with Bill Maher, The Late Late Show, America's Funniest Home Videos, American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, America's Got Talent, just to name a few. He is also most notably recognized as Decepticon in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen for Paramount Pictures. Good buddy of mine, comedian John DeCrosta, joins me here today on A Drink with Derek.
I don't hurt anybody physically with my practical jokes. I just like mess with your heads, and I force you to make the mistakes, and then I sit back and laugh. I'll go into a really nice restaurant, I'll go into the podium. Hi, called earlier, reservations for 2 under Shafeed. Should be down there, Shitthead, Shafeed. 5 minutes goes by, new kid comes up. Party 2 for shithead? Shithead? Huh? I just punched on, it says shithead, I don't know. Shithead party? Party of shitheads? Come on, seriously? Are the shitheads here? Come on. Hey, shithead, your table's ready, come on. And I go up to the podium in tears. It's Shafeed, you do this to me every time. I don't dare bring my friend Mr. Blowjob.
John DeCrosta in Los Angeles. Soon to be in Las Vegas, joining me here at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at the MGM Grand. Super stoked. January 2 through 8 is when we get a chance to hang out. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. You know, that joke is so silly and so stupid and so basic. And each night I tend to milk it for longer and longer and longer. And my favorite thing of that whole piece is there's always, when I say Blau Job, there's always at least 5 people in the front going. And so now I tag it with I'll give you a minute to spell that joke.
So funny. You and I have known each other for 20 plus years, man. So good to see you. I was trying to find that picture, and I had sent a shot of it to you. Remember the one that we took in Fort Lauderdale? We were working together at Uncle Funny's.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Davie that week. I got to dig up that picture. If I can find it, I'm going to go ahead and send it over to our producer, Sean, in Florida, and have him drop it in here in post-production. But, I mean, you and I look so markedly different. Oh, man, I had hair that wasn't gray. I had big glasses. You had this super spiky hair. You were probably 30 pounds heavier. No? I can't recall. 50. I got to pull it up. I think you did have a goatee.
I was probably 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah, but it's a great shot. If I can find it here, I've been digging through some boxes trying to pull that thing out. But it's great to sift through that stuff and see some old pictures like that, man. Good. The look, I've got to ask you, because the last time I saw you, I think you just had this thing going, where you look like like you should run a brothel in Deadwood, South Dakota. Or as our producer Sean said, he looks like a French villain. I'm like, oh, I think he'll find that very complimentary.
So what's your question? Well, you didn't get to the question yet. Your comment.
Well, the question is, was the mustache a product of COVID? Were you sitting around? Because you've always had a goatee for the longest time. Listen, I know a lot of people were bored during COVID and during lockdown, but so how did this come about?
During COVID, I stopped shaving. So I got this, my old, I haven't had facial. When I moved to LA 22 years ago, my agent said, you need to shave that, lose the earring, and get rid of the spiky hair. So those are the first thing that went. So I hadn't had facial hair in Los Angeles ever. And then during COVID, I just stopped shaving because I had nowhere to go. And so I had my old style from which was similar to the picture that we did. Right. Kind of like a Van Dyke goatee with, going up the sides. And what happened was one night I took some CBD gummies to sleep, and I chopped a notch off this side. I was trimming it, and my razor, I was exhausted. I just went, I'm like, oh shit. Now I got to even it out. So then they became 2 separate entities, right? So now I have the mustache and the beard. And then what happened is it started growing longer, and I found myself, when I was watching the ball game or whatever, I'd be chewing on the corners, which is gross as shit, right? So I went to CVS and got a little wax to keep it out of my mouth. And then the world came back, and I started getting casting notices again. So believe it or not, I'm surprised you just said what you said, because I got a casting notice that caught my eye. They needed a dirt bag that could deliver 7 comedic lines, and I play the owner of a brothel.
Yes! Sweet.
Yeah, and it's a short film, and they wanted a current picture of me, so I took an iPhone photo, and I said, I can shave this, and they're like, no, we need you to grow it longer, so we're gonna put you on 3 or 4 weeks, get it longer so we can really twist it. And I did it. I was 2 days on the set. It's a little independent film.
Sure.
And then I couldn't shave for 6 months, 7 months while they were editing it in case they needed me again. So then
Sure.
Carnival came back and comedy clubs came back. And because I couldn't shave, I had to address this shit. So every week I would come up with new jokes about my freaking face. And now I've long since been cleared. You like shave the fucking thing. And but now I got 10 minutes of material on my face. So I couldn't get rid of it. And now my opening show on the ship of my clean show and my dirty show is explaining the look, and I get compliments every day on the damn thing, and I'm like, I'm keeping it. And now I've gone down the rabbit hole on Instagram and the internet, dude. There is an entire mustache universe, and just in the last month, I've won 3 mustache contests. And I'm like, this shit could make me some money. You laugh, but it's funny, but I've won contests.
Hey, find your opportunities where they drop in. That's great. This is here's the funny thing. For years, you and I have probably stopped at many of the same truck stops where it's, where there was a t-shirt that said free mustache rides. And we laughed at it because we're like, who would possibly buy this? Now I have your Christmas present. I got to go on Amazon. Sean, please remind me to go on Amazon and buy a mustache ride, a juvenile mustache ride shirt for John DeCrosta. You've been at this game a long time, my friend. You're doing a lot of voiceover work in California, but you've also done a lot of audience warm-up stuff. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about, because you and I have talked about this, but audiences don't know what's involved with that. And so kind of explain what that is when you do audience warm-up for a show like with Bill Maher, The Late Late Show, America's Got Talent, American Idol, all this stuff too. That is a very labor-intensive process.
It's very labor-intensive. In fact, that's when I got tired of it. It's a double-edged sword. Here's the problem with audience warm-up. Some days are 50 minutes. Some days are 5 hours. And every show is different. Every host requires you to do different things. Comics like Bill Maher, that was very secure in his comedy and his comedy technique and his delivery, are not threatened by a comedian doing audience warm-up. I was let go on several shows for outshining the host / show. Once you become the audience's favorite thing in the room, you are promptly dismissed and exited out the building.
Wow.
And that's when I started cruises. Was it's the thing about audience warm up is, if the crowd is great, it's the writing staff, it's the stars, it's the show, blah blah blah. If the audience is terrible, it's the warm-up guy. And I kind of got a little tired of that. I'm not saying it's that way on all shows, but on a lot of shows that was my experience.
How long did you do it for?
So I kind of 10 years. And then
wow.
I kind of wanted to like switch things up. And I moved here for animation voiceover. And I had kind of hit a brick wall with that as well. So I said to my agent, I said, hey, let me try this ship thing. Just, to change things up, go explore the world a little and do a little more stand up. Because, for the first 10 years I was here, I did extra work. I did audience warm up and animation voiceover. That's how I earned my living. And so then after about 10 years, I was like, you know what, let's change things up. And I wrote an email to my agent, and Carnival was starting this new thing called the Punchliner on every single ship, where they turned one of their secondary lounges, into comedy clubs. and you could say anything you wanted. You know, cruise ship comedy sometimes can be quite restrictive as far as your language, your content,
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of thing. And the Punchliner had this thing where we do 3 adult shows and 2 family shows. So 2 family shows, you got to be a good boy, and then the other 3, anything goes. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds fine to me, because I've done corporate. I can be corporate clean,
Sure.
and I've done, I've done nightclubs. You know what I'm saying, and comedy clubs. So I figure I'd give this a shot, and I'm now on my 551st cruise. I've done 551.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's impressive.
500.
That's a long run. Have you ever slipped up on the family show? Have you ever gotten
No,
a complaint from somebody? Okay.
No. I started as a ventriloquist. In fact, I think I have it right here. I started as a ventriloquist. I don't know if you can see this, but this is my very
Wow,
first
look at
night
that picture.
on stage. That's my very first night on stage. Yeah, dude,
I would
I'm
like you to grow
11
your hair
years
out like
old.
that. I want you to grow your hair out like that for when we're together here in a couple of weeks. That's how old were you?
I would like to grow my hair out like that.
How old were you in that picture?
11. This is me.
Wow.
This is me in this is college. That's the famous Chichu.
Wow. That's Chichu, which, by the way, now people need to hear the Chichu story, because it's hands down the funniest story. And I feel bad, and I want to apologize to you, because every time we're hanging out and somebody says, we start talking about comedy stories, I go, hang on, John, tell them about opening for Foghat. And it's just, and every single time you tell the story, I cry laughing like it's the first time. And so you had done a drink with Derek when I had first started this podcast a couple years ago. So now the new people that are listening now need to hear about Chichu the ventriloquist opening for Foghat.
Well, early in my career, it was probably right around the era of this photo. So picture this guy. I strike a gig. One of the biggest, not one of, the biggest gig of my career up to that point. Opening up for Foghat. You know, slow ride, take it
Slow
easy.
ride. I just want to make love to you. Absolutely.
Yep. And
now,
and
what year would this
rock
have
and
been?
roll.
This had to be circa what? Probably late 80s, mid 80s?
82 or 83.
Wow.
I want to say 83. So I was 20 years old. Yeah. And so at that time, I had more ventriloquism in my act than stand-up. So I'm like, I talked to the promoter. I'm like, you know what I do on stage, right? And he goes, they'll love it. I said, I don't think they're going to love it. They'll love it. So I go over with my little suitcase from Sears with Chicho in the suitcase. And I show up. Dude, it was like, do you remember the scene? All right, combine 2 scenes. The scene where Pee Wee Herman goes into the bar and does the high heel dance on the bar. Remember all those bikers?
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Put that crowd into the scene where the Blues Brothers get beer bottles thrown at the chicken wire. Okay? But there's no chicken wire. So
how many people are you in front of? Got to be a few thousand.
400. No,
300-400. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Foghat, this was kind of like a revival kind of, hey, we're still around kind of show.
Okay, gotcha.
And yeah, and so the guy introduces me, who is used to introducing rock bands. He has no clue
Oh yeah.
about, solo performers. They
No.
mean, you ready for some comedy? Half the room went no. So so out I go with my matching clothes. At that time we dressed similar.
Were you wearing the suit?
Tito for
Please
the
tell me you're
show.
wearing the suit. Did you wear the suit also?
No.
If you wore the suit,
So,
if you wore the suit to a Foghat show as a performer, they would have thought you were a probation officer.
So I start my routine, and dude, at first it was so quiet you could hear a pin drop, but I think, can I curse on this thing?
Sure, you can.
I think it wasn't politeness, it was confusion. They were all like, what? Is somebody fucking punking us? Is this like, is there candid camera? Like, is this guy fucking, all right, who paid this guy to fuck with us? And I'm like, so what'd you do in school today? And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Now I'm paid to do 20 minutes. After about 4 minutes, I'm checking my watch. Like, I have to have done 15 so far. No, you're on 4 minutes.
Oh no.
And yeah. So then all of a sudden it turns from quiet confusion to anger. They wanted me dead. They wanted to lynch me. They wanted to string me from the back of a motorcycle and drag me through a field of thorns. It got so angry and so abusive. Then little things started being thrown. Napkins, a spork, a couple of...
Wait, you know it's bad when you can identify the item in the air coming at you. That's how slow time is moving. Did somebody go to Taco Bell and bring in their accoutrement into the Foghat show that Derek mistakenly thought was mistakenly 3,000 people? I don't know why I thought there was going to be 3,000 people at a Foghat concert. But thank God there wasn't 3,000, because you had 10 times more sporks coming at you.
They handed the sporks out at the door, and they're like, "This is for the opening act."
I'm gonna give somebody a spork at our show when we're working together in Vegas. I want, at some point during the week, you're not gonna know what day, but a spork is gonna come flying at you.
You're not gonna know what day or what joke.
You're not gonna know what day, exactly what. You're not gonna know when in the act, but a spork is coming up at you. Oh my God!
So I'm checking my watch at 4 minutes, and at about the 7-minute mark, a Miller Lite bottle comes flailing towards Chicho's head, and it came so fast I had no time to dodge it, or he had no time to dodge it. So I'm just holding him like this, and all of a sudden the bottle comes and hits him right here in the jaw, and the jaw falls out and on the ground. So I don't know if you've ever seen a ventriloquist puppet with no lower jaw.
Oh, yeah.
But it's one of those, a creepiest Annabelle moment that you've ever been involved in. And so he's just got the upper bridge and the two lion from Wizard of Oz jowls on the side. Now it goes back to quiet. Now they're like, what the fuck? What just happened, and how is he going to respond? So my response was, I had Chicho go. I just stared at him with no lower jaw, and I just went, "Thank you, good night." And I walked on stage.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hope there's some people that are out there today that see
saw
somebody
that
like Jeff
show.
Dunham and they go, yes, and they're sharing this story right now, going, I can't believe you went to go see Foghat, and then all of a sudden, this ventriloquist had a Miller Lite bottle flung at him and it knocked the jaw off his puppet.
So I had, thank you, good night.
I wish, oh my God, I wish you had that on video.
Oh, my God. That wasn't even invented yet, but yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. And then I got silently and secretly, the car was brought around back. Somebody took the keys to my car and brought it to the back of the bar, hugged it right up to the kitchen door so I could jump in the car and get the fuck out of there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell that story 3 more times when we're working together, because I'm going to tell people about it. It's hands down one of the funniest things. I'm almost surprised you haven't worked that into. Have you done that in your act?
No.
That's hilarious. That is such a true to life, great inside baseball story that I think could really be just a classic signature bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really do. That's absolutely hysterical. When did you? I mean, because you do different voices and stuff in your act. When did you realize that you had a voiceover gift?
Well, in my show, because it started with ventriloquism. I always loved impressions. I used to love the Dean Martin roast and watch guys like
Those are great.
Charlie Callis, Foster Brooks, Louis Nye, Red Buttons. I always loved those roasts. I used to sit by the TV on those Dean Martin roasts with my little cassette player holding the exterior mic up to the speaker and just taping those things for hours. I mean, all those guys from the 70s and 80s were a huge inspiration for me vocally wise. And then when I started doing ventriloquism, obviously you have to give every character a voice and stuff. And then what happened is somebody saw me, and I used to do a lot of impressions. Like I did Dr. Ruth and the Wizard of Oz, and all this kind of stuff. I did Pee Wee Herman when Pee Wee was hot, and wait, let me rephrase that. I used to do an impression of Pee Wee Herman when Pee Wee Herman was hot. And so one night I guess it would be probably the 90s, an advertising agent, a person that owned her own advertising agency in upstate New York, saw me at a show and said, I wonder if you could do something for me. She says, I have an advertising agency, and I need a voice of a teddy bear for a furniture store, a Christmas ad for a furniture store that I'm doing. So I said, yeah, I can do that, obviously, because a lot of my stuff back then, especially, was higher register. So he was kind of like, hey, don't touch me there, that kind of thing. And so
why do I have a feeling you've said that before?
So I did the commercial, and I ended up doing, oh my God, over 100 commercials for that woman. In fact, I became the voice of Peter Harris clothing back home in upstate New York. I did so many different for her. And so when I moved to LA, my entire demo tape was spots that I had done for this woman, plus combined with a couple of things that I really loved from my stand-up act at that time. And so that was my
The Foghat
that was
show.
my me screaming in the kitchen, Chicho crying. That was all on my original cassette demo tape.
He wasn't really crying. He was just like,
He was like that guy from Goonies. Hey, you guys!
no, but that's great, man, because you've done such a you've built up such a great body of work with these voiceovers and then doing all these commercials and stuff like that, which obviously moved into what you're doing now in Los Angeles as far as your voiceover work.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. It slowed down a lot because I'm away a lot, and
Right.
although I audition like crazy, but the market has definitely changed since I've been out on the ocean working. The market has changed to they're going. I'm not saying the industry is exclusively celebrity based, but some of the larger, a lot of the larger jobs are going celebrity driven because they
Right.
know it's got a marquee factor and it's going to fill seats and sell games. So a lot of that stuff has gone to established actors, which it's kind of a thorn in my side. Look, everybody's got to, put a roof on their house. I remember
Right.
years ago when I did warm up for a show on ESPN called More Sports. It was Jay Moore, and Jay and
Yeah, I
I were
remember that.
talking one day. Jay and I were talking at lunch one day about he had asked me why I moved to LA, and I told him, and I expressed my feeling about, and he really brought it to light. He really made me understand. He had just finished that movie. I think it was called Polly, where he was the voice of a parrot, and I was expressing my feeling as far as how it's a thorn in my side that the celebrities are getting a lot of these gigs now. And he's like, "Hey,
Right.
man," he goes, "we need new roofs on our houses as well. We need we need to fix the front door. We need to get a new stove." And I'm like, "I get it. I get it. In this town, dude, you got to count your blessings when you book anything. You got to count. Like that's like with Transformers.
Right.
I was told that I was 1 out of 600 that was chosen for that role. And luckily we had such a good time in the studio. I was thrown 7 and 8 and 9 more roles at the moment, and I came through. But yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. It's a struggle.
Well, and I understand if they're going to have some, if they're going to have a couple celebrities in a particular movie, but you need a number of different characters. I mean, you have people with very distinctive voices like a Ray Romano, Ellen DeGeneres, whoever's doing different Disney animation stuff. Brad Garrett has a very distinctive voice. But I mean, there's other
Right.
characters in there. So I mean, do they need to dole out every single character to an A-list celeb, or can they just go with
Correct.
somebody who's wickedly talented like yourself? And it's like, yeah, here's this movie starring A, B, and C. And then, yeah, your voice also happens to be in there.
Correct. I mean, that's, and then sometimes you do get that booking that is golden. I did a film for National Geographic with Tim Curry, and Tim did one voice and I did 14. I did 14 different voices for these dinosaurs. And that's when somebody needs to cast several roles, they tend to go with the people that might not be as known as somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they have worked on that tool and flexed that muscle for years, working on different dialects, different high voices, low voices, skinny voices, fat voices. I mean, kid voices, old man voices. Just last week, I read for an old man, a gargoyle, a young teenager. I mean, so they're going to go to a person like myself that, might have a different range than let's say Kevin Spacey. But a lot of these video games are even going to mocap now, where they're putting all the dots all over their bodies, and they're actually acting in the game. A buddy of mine, Sal Viscuso, just did one of the newest NBA games where he's sitting in the park and he's playing checkers, and it's Sal. I mean, he went up to Silicon Valley and they digitized him. So real actors are even getting these roles now, where I can't even provide a voice for a fake guy. Now they're hiring real guys to be real digitized people. I'm like, for God's sakes, what do I got to do? It's tough.
It is tough. What now? I know your cocktail of choice, at least now, unless it's altered, is Bombay Sapphire Gin and Tonic, correct?
I do like that, but
see, I know you do.
7-8 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I got hooked on the whole tiki bar culture, and I have probably close to 25, 30 different mugs. In fact, this is my newest one I picked up this week.
There we go. Oh, nice.
It's got a little.
Oh, that's totes adorbs. Oh, that's not totes adorbs at all. What you just did. That's disturbing as hell.
But
that'll get you on a watch list. You stand outside an elementary school and sip that drink like you just did. Let's see how long it takes before the cops show up. Well, I know you've been. Oh my God, that's so disturbing. Oh, I know you've been out here to the Golden Tiki in Vegas.
We're going.
Frankie's Tiki Room as well. We're going. Absolutely.
We're going.
Golden Tiki's awesome. I love it. Frankie's is great. I love Frankie's. If Frankie's smelled a little less like I was diving headfirst into an ashtray in the 70s, I would like it a little more. I love the decor. I love the ambiance. I love the cocktails. But you walk in there, I mean, your clothing gets COPD.
Yeah,
but I love the place. It's an institution here in Vegas. I recommend everybody go check it out. Frankie's Tiki Room is one of the classic dive bars here in town. What's your best drunk story? And now that you're into the tiki drinks with 17 different rums that are mixed in along with fruit juices and everything else, give me your best drunk story. Or one of them.
My personal experience, I think the worst
Sure.
thing, the funniest and stupidest thing I ever did, I used to drink years ago a drink called a Melon baller. And that was made with Midori, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. It's a green liqueur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it was made with that, and it was green, and it was usually served like in a daiquiri glass. And dude, I remember I couldn't even count. I had many of them. And when I drink, I get hungry and I eat stupid shit. Like I will eat peanut butter pretzels dipped in Frank's hot sauce. You know what I mean? I will. There's no discretion. If it's clean and not in a garbage, I will probably eat it if I'm drinking. So one night I got tanked on Melon ballers, and I pulled up to the McDonald's drive-thru, and I remember Big Mac was not my favorite sandwich, but I had to have that secret sauce. For some reason, I was craving that Big Mac sauce, that tartar Thousand Island bullshit that they put on there, right? And I'm like, give me a Big Mac, regular, not Diet Coke, regular Coke, and large, supersize those fries, extra salt. Hello? Big Mac. Hello? I need a big... Hello? Then I sat there and I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And then I woke up in my car with a police officer tapping his flashlight at my window. I was parked in the McDonald's drive-thru at the USA Today newspaper machine before you got to the order speaker. I was trying to order a Big Mac at the USA Today machine, and it was long after McDonald's closed. So even if somebody had a speaker in the USA Today machine, they would have said, sir, we're closed. Yeah. That was probably the worst I've ever been.
Oh man, did you go to jail for that?
No. No, the guy
Thank
was like,
God.
either pull it. He goes, how close do you live here? And I was so close to my house. I was so close. Like, I should have just gone home, but I needed that Big Mac sauce for some reason. I don't think I've had Big Mac sauce since that day.
Those are days gone by when the cop said, "How far are you from your home?" Oh man,
I know, right?
That doesn't happen
over
now. This had to be an old story.
Oh, this is probably 86, 87, maybe.
Yeah.
Mid to early 80s.
Yeah, yeah. This is back before they had cameras on everything. Everything was recorded. All that. Yeah, that is a bygone era. What's the what's the two-part question? Best advice you were ever given, and then the worst advice you were ever given.
For life or for comedy?
Life or comedy, whichever strikes you first.
The best comedy advice. Yeah, you're right. Best comedy advice I ever got, again, was early in my career. Was, I'm not going to mention the name, but he's still around, and I don't know if he's doing stand-up. I know his kid is doing stand-up now, but somebody in New York City came off stage, and it was a really tough show, and it was moments before Foghat came out, and I'll never forget. And I'll never forget the advice he gave me. It was, never bring a puppet to a spork fight. And
that's good. That's good advice. That's as advice goes. No, listen, you would think there's never a scenario. There's never a scenario when these two items would come together. Never bring a puppet to a spork fight. And you go, kind of a jackass gives advice like this. Literally 6 months later,
that's gonna be
sporks at a Foghat concert.
That's gonna be on my tombstone.
Your headstone.
On my headstone is gonna say, never bring a puppet to a spork fight. Slow ride.
Spork fight. Oh, I love that. What's the what's the worst advice?
And the worst advice that I ever received was, never bring a puppet to a spork fight. No. Never bring a spork to a puppet fight.
Oh my God. All right. I've got a We all troll the internet. We're all goofing around. We all find stupid stuff. I found this video. I want to watch this with you. You may have seen this, but I want to see your reaction. Sean, who the fuck brought the goddamn puppet?
We specifically said no
puppets. No chicks and no puppets. The fuck?
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage. Better come down here, get some of this shit. You like to eat? America loves to eat. So why not open up somewhere America can sit down, enjoy a meal, and get their feet rubbed? We'll fry anything you want for $5.99. As long as it's friable or edible, we're gonna make it deliciable. We will fry parts of the chicken you didn't even know was friable. The beak, the feathers, we'll fry candy bars. All that European stuff that you don't really normally eat, we'll bring it down here and fry it for you. Ask McDonald's to fry something other than what they normally fry. Guess what you're gonna get? Nothing. If it fit through the dough, I'll put it in the fryer. Hell, this is a dinosaur. All our meats are gently tenderized to their optimum deliciousness. We got fine dinosaur meats. Took my money, made me pay child support. Come on down here and get you a slice. Once they get your social security number, it's over. Motivated, 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 motivated. So friends, let's just decide you don't want no barbecue. Well, that's fine too. Why not let one of my foot specialists or myself perform our magic? Look at that, don't they look wonderful? If you really pay me enough, we'll massage your feet in any of these sauces also. Success is the rule down here at Jones. Good ass barbecue and foot massage. So go ahead and give me a call or find us on the worldwide internets at the new website. That's JONES, bigasstruckrentalstorage.com/Jones. Good ass barbecue and foot massage.html.
Excuse me, did you call number 52?
Did you hear me call number 52?
Oh my God!
Isn't that beautiful?
Holy crap!
I saw that video. I'm like, I have got to. Go ahead.
That almost seems like a fake spot. It's so funny.
It's hilarious. Obviously, it's in Chicago, 708 area code. I know the area that he's talking about, but I was dying. That video's 13 years old. I had no idea. How did that elude me for so long? And there's like 24 million views. You can find it. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. My favorite is the website is Jones Big Ass Truck Rental.com / So it's like you're going to rent a truck for the big move, but you know what? I got to get food to help my guys out.
And there's a drop menu on bigasstruck.com. Like there's gift shop, there's sports or utensils.
Do you need blankets for your move? Boxes, sporks, puppets, fried foods, foot rubs. The foot rub thing was killing me. Oh my God, that video. I knew you would get a kick out of that. I knew you would enjoy this. I'm going to have you exercise some of your voice skills as we wrap up the episode here. DeCosta.com is his website. Follow him on social media. He's got some great stuff out there, and also catch him on the cruise ships, Carnival Cruise Lines, and then also at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club with me, January 2nd through the 8th at the MGM Grand here in Las Vegas. So I want you to do.
Will, if they come to Brad's, the question is,
bring a spork.
It's kind of like Willy Wonka and the Golden Ticket. Are they going to be there for Spork Night?
And are they going to bring a puppet? Don't confuse Spork Night with Puppet Night.
Wait, those are two separate nights? How can you not?
Well, they could be. I want to see people in the front row with sock puppets and sporks, and see if you can maintain your composure.
I would lose my shit if mid-joke somebody went like this.
Holds up a sock puppet. And then they reach in their purse with the sock puppet, grab a spork, and fling it at you.
And then they went, "Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night." It's gonna happen. You know it's gonna happen. I will make that my mission that week to make sure that happens at some point. I want you to do your favorite voice. It's the holiday season, which, by the way, I give huge credit to producer Sean for creating the festive snowstorm background that you see on the perimeter of the broadcast here. You're from upstate New York, so
yeah.
I thought you would appreciate this.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
absolutely.
So I want you to do your favorite voice doing "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Doesn't have to be the whole "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." As much as you want to do with your favorite voice.
Look, you've known me
long time
since, like what I said, Uncle Funny. So that's probably early 90s.
Yeah.
And you know my sense of humor is very silly and very goofy, and the sillier the better. Like I could go like that chicken foot spot. I could go down a rabbit hole for hours on YouTube with shit like that.
Oh yeah.
And so the sillier the better for me.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my favorite voices to do is similar to Ed Wynn from many of our favorite Disney movies and shows, where and I've booked probably close to 10 commercials doing this voice. Now, it is not spot on Ed Wynn, but it's definitely inspired, and it's just a fun voice to do. I remember one California Lottery spot that I did with that voice. It was a Halloween spot, and I used it as a clown. And so it goes something like this. Like those 1980s impressionists.
Yes.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung, I'll bet they were, by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
That's you almost sound like one of the characters from the Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah,
whoever heard of
like
a Charlie in the box?
Whoever heard of a Charlie in the box? Yes. Now you've done very well with your character from Transformers, Decepticon.
Yeah,
that was what sprung a lot of stuff. So I want you to do, as we wrap up here, I want you to do your character from Transformers in an adult film. Decepticon from Transformers in an adult film. Comedian John DeCrosta. Here we go.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Give me. Can we get a doorbell sound effect?
Oh, we can get a doorbell sound effect. All right, here we go. Doorbell sound effect. Ding dong.
That was the sound effect? All right. I'll take it. All right, let's try it again. Take
all right,
two.
Here we go.
Everybody
Take
back
two.
to places.
Here we go. And action. Ding dong.
Oh, someone's at the door. Hello, pizza guy. Oh, I'm fresh out of singles. Maybe you can come inside and we can work out this arrangement in another manner. Boom, chicka, ow, 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 boom, chicka, ow, ow.
John, I can't tell you how good it is to see you. And scene. Done. Everybody, go to the food truck. We'll be back here in 20. Oh, man. My friend, I can't thank you enough. Always such a good time hanging out with you. So looking forward to working with you over at Brad's January 2nd.
Yes, it's only a couple weeks from now.
Couple weeks from now, absolutely. And again, follow John at johndecrosta.com. Follow him on social media, his Instagram page. You can find him. You can find him drinking
Johnny
coffee.
D163
you can find
on Instagram.
John D163 at
Johnny
on Instagram. You can find him,
and then on Twitter and Facebook, just John DeCrosta.
and then you can see John
Bring your
drinking
sport.
coffee. You can see him skateboarding, and you can see him with sporks. That's got to be your new and you can see that insanely inappropriate picture. Hang on, do it one more time, Sean. Go full screen with this. Full screen with this one here. Here we go. And
wait.
Sean, we've got to get a screen grab of that thing. That picture is going to go everywhere. I love it. My friend, you're awesome. Thank you so much for your time, man. I know you're busy, so looking forward to seeing you here in Vegas. It's going to be a great time.
All right, pal. Thanks for everything. Thank you, guys. I had a blast.
Oh, man. That was a great time. John DeCrosta.
Great way to
with
start
me
the
in Las
day.
Vegas. Oh, man. Such a good time. John's going to be with me at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas over at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. Also, too, when you're messing around online, grab a copy of my book, Whiskey, Cancer, and Bad Decisions. Go ahead and pull that up. You can still give a holiday gift of the Kindle and Audible version. You can certainly do the hard copy version, but it's going to take a couple extra days for it to roll into somebody's house. Also, check out myself and comedian Dave Landau and Tom E. Thompson going to be that picture. That's got to be my Christmas card for next year. At the Fruenthal Center in Muskegon, Michigan on Saturday, February 11th. Dave, myself, and also Tommy Thompson. Go ahead and grab your tickets at DerekRichards.com. Also go to Dave Landau's website, DaveLandau.com, and you can get snag the tickets there too. And then the Irish Comedy Tour is starting up here very soon, February 23rd, Feb 23 in Johnson City, New York. Myself, Damon Liebert, Derek Kane, and Michael Melon, the IrishComedyTour.com. Go to our website. We just added a date in Daytona Beach, Florida. So looking forward to that. That'll be in March. We're also going to be in Largo, Florida, as well as Port Charlotte, Florida, over the St. Patrick's Day weekend. The IrishComedyTour.com. My name's Derek Richards. Thank you so very much for hanging. Have yourselves a fantastic holiday season. Myself and John and Urban Santa wish you the best holiday season you can possibly have. We will see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening to A Drink with Derek. Find out when Derek is appearing near you by checking out DerekRichards.com. See you next time for A Drink with Derek.